Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
My name is Bridget, and I live in Camarillo, as Barbara said, but I spent a lot of years here in Oxnard. Probably about 20 years or more here in Oxnard, so I'm very familiar with this location, with the tennis courts across the street. I lived down over off of F Street. I lived at that end of Woolley Road. I had lived at that end of Woolley Road. So I spent a few years here, and coming back, I haven't been back very often in the last 10 years, but coming back, it's, you know, a lot's changed and a lot's the same. Kind of like me. So I'm a very grateful member of Al-Anon, and one of the things that I did this morning, I got up at 2:30. Sorry, I couldn't help it. You know, I go through periods like that, and I just try to roll with it. So when I got up at 2:30 this morning, this is what I did. I wrote a gratitude list. That's different from before. Instead, you know, before I would have worried about what's he doing, what are they doing, what am I going to do, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now it's, okay, hi God. And I want to read you my gratitude list because I thought it was pretty good for 2:30 in the morning. Okay, the first one is, I have a God. That's good. He loves me. I have my health. My children are well. I have a wonderful home. I have food I need and want. I can afford to move if I so choose. I can feel. I can cry. I can talk to my mom. Well, I really couldn't at that time because she's still sleeping, but I can watch the sunrise. I can talk to my children. These are all things I'm grateful for. They're simple, but they mean a lot to me. I will wake up in the morning and have my coffee. That means a lot to me. I love coffee. I have a program. I have many friends in program. My program gives me the ability to live a life that I have always wanted to live and just didn't know it. So that was my gratitude list this morning, and that's how I started my day at 2:30. I'll give you a little background, how I got to Al-Anon. I came here, I think in 1999, halfway through the year. My husband's drinking was bothering me, and I didn't know what to do about it. So it had bothered me for a while, and I didn't know what all the crazy behavior was about. So I came here. I was good till I saw tears in somebody else's eyes. Okay, so I came. I get these little waves of emotion, but it's okay. You guys tell me it's okay. So I came here because somebody's drinking was bothering me, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to help, and I thought that everything that I was doing was being helpful. And when I came to you, you let me know that maybe it wasn't so helpful, that maybe it was more enabling or manipulative. but I like to think it was helpful. I have 4 children, and by the time I got here, they were their age ranges were from, I think, 8 to college, and I came because I didn't know where else to go, and I came. I was living in Oxnard, but I went to Ventura meetings because I didn't want to run into anybody that I might know, because then people would know something's going on in my household. And wouldn't you know it, not my first meeting, but the very second meeting, I showed up and somebody was there that I know, and I thought, oh, it's all over with now. Everybody will know. I never even thought that maybe this woman was here for the same reason I was. I didn't think about that. I just was worried about not letting anybody else, because I was still feeling that need to keep it under control, under wraps. I didn't want anybody to know when everybody knew. It was obvious what was going on in our house. But I found out that coming to my meetings, I started with mostly Ventura meetings, and that's kind of my home today still. But I've tried to venture out to all the meetings around the county. But what I found was in every room, and especially in that very first room that I went to, is that there was love. As soon as I came into the room, I didn't know any of you. I didn't want to know any of you, and I wasn't comfortable. But I had this feeling like it was okay to be there, and maybe that's the place I needed to be. And lo and behold, here I am, so many years later, and I'm still coming. And but I like to come now because I've made a lot of friends, and I get to know you on a level that I don't get to know other people on. I spent many years here in Oxnard with my family and my husband, and drinking was a very big part of our social activities, and my opinion at that time was that an alcoholic, I didn't know much about alcoholism, but an alcoholic was the guy in the street with a paper bag. That was my vision, and I didn't know that alcoholism could manifest in other ways, or that people could continue to work and continue to seemingly function, and because that's what I was doing, with that in my household. And I kept thinking, oh, it's not that bad. I don't see the paper bag, and he's not in the streets, so we're good. Even though there were, points of blackout and things like that. I was feeling out of control, though, because I felt like I was the only one in the household who needed to have, somebody needed to have control, and it had to be me. So with 4 kids and business and all that entails, I had to have a lot of control. And I think with my children early on, I wanted to make sure that they were going to be the perfect kids, and that you would say that, your kids are absolutely perfect. So I had a tight rein on them all the time, maybe a little tighter than I should have, but I just did the best that I could at that point in time. And a lot of that control comes from childhood. I grew up in a military family, and there was a lot of control in the household. And I think there was another speaker this weekend that sort of shared some of the military upbringing, which is the moving and the only thing that we didn't have to do was salute, but we had to answer the phone a certain way with my dad's rank and our last name, and with a certain greeting, all of us had to answer it that way, or we were in trouble. We had to answer the front door that way. I remember when we got to the point where we were going to earn an allowance, the way that we earned an allowance was how many pull-ups we could do down in the laundry room, because there was a bar. And I'm one of 5 kids. I have 4 brothers, so they were good at the pull-ups. I wasn't as good, but But that's how we earned our allowance, was doing the pull-ups. And that was all part of that structured, everybody's going to fit into this mold. And here, you got 4 boys and 1 girl in that. I'm not fitting into that mold, that soldier mold, but anyway, I think a lot of that structure helped me along the way in some ways. Sometimes I'm a little too structured, which is why I'm here. And we did a lot of moving too, and the moving, I think the first big move that I remember was leaving. We were in Iran for about 4.5 years. And I think I was in the 4th grade, and we moved to Ohio, Fairborn, Ohio. I don't know what that, I didn't know where that was, or I didn't know anything about it. But we got there, and I was in shock, I think, for a while, because I had to make new friends, new school, new surroundings. We had neighbors. We didn't do that in Iran. We had neighbors for once, and there were kids playing on my front lawn. And my mom said, well, you can go out there and play. And I thought, no, I can't. I don't even know them. So I watched from the window for a couple of days before I could venture out there and meet them. I came here and I had no knowledge of, the money. I didn't know dollars and cents. And by the 4th grade, most kids know dollars and cents, but I didn't know that. So there was a lot of stuff culturally and a lot of stuff about my surroundings that I was going to have to learn, and it was all new. And I just remember feeling like I was in shock. Okay, how am I going to? This is overwhelming. How am I going to learn how to do all this and manage all of this? And that, it doesn't sound like that should be a big deal, but when you're 9, it is. It's kind of a big deal, trying to figure out how you're going to fit in now, not just in a new neighborhood, but in a new country and new, ways of communicating with people. And we were very protected over there, and here it was like, opening your doors, the neighbors come in, the kids are on the front lawn. What? I hadn't done that ever. So those were some of the first memories that I have. Is that that move. We moved several more times and wound up in Hawaii, of all places. And what I learned about Hawaii was there was a feeling that I got there that most people work hard to be able to get there, to go visit. And the people that were born and raised there just sort of rolled out of bed and didn't take things so serious. And I know for me, when I was there, I was super serious. I didn't fit in with that, rolling out of bed and going on the beach every day and not worrying about anything. Although I think I could do that now. I couldn't do it then, but now I can. Maybe you guys help me there. I'm not sure. The changes that occurred in my life along the way, growing up, were hard for me. Now, they may not be hard for everybody, but for whatever reason, they were really hard for me. And it took me a while wherever I went. And even now, I'm a little bit that way, but I think mostly better. It takes me a while to get used to things and get used to people. So if I keep you out there, it's just because I'm looking at you from here. So, okay, oh yeah, now I'll let you in. It takes me a while to get to know people and to get to know my surroundings. And that's just the way I am. And, I'm okay with that. Today, I'm okay with that, but I don't want to keep people away. That's why here in program, I've learned how to let, I guess, the safe people in, and I learned who the safe people are, and I would say that's all of you guys for sure. You guys are all my people, as I call you. Now. In 1999, when I went to Al-Anon, I was scared. I was confused. I didn't understand what was going on, and I didn't know what to do about it either. And I thought I was supposed to know, because as a kid I was always put in charge, and I thought I was supposed to know, or supposed to figure it out. And I tried a lot of things, and I never really figured it out. The drinking was changing somebody that I knew and loved, and there was nothing I could do about it. Coming here, you guys told me that I needed to focus on myself, and I heard that. I heard the words, but I didn't take it in. I just said, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I can do that, all right. But I didn't do it. I heard the words, but couldn't take it in, like I said. And somebody early in my program kept saying, annoyingly so, kept saying, you know, keep the focus, keep the focus, keep the focus on yourself. And I kept saying, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, I know. And every meeting, this person was there, and he would say the same thing, keep the focus, to the point where I started to avoid him. And then after one meeting, he caught me, and we were chatting for a minute, and there we went back to the keep the focus. And I thought, would you just quit? I know. You've told me. How many times have you told me? So I thought that. I didn't say it, and I just smiled and said, okay. And I got in my car, and I drove off, and it hit me. Oh. Keep the focus on me. Oh. I never saw him after that. He delivered the message to me. That's what I believe. But he was there for a long time pestering me, I'll tell you. That's the way I have to get it, though, sometimes. You know, the repeat, 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 repeat. After that, I made little Post-it notes everywhere, because my mind kept going back to what he was doing and how he wasn't doing it right, and he needed to join AA, and I had his recovery planned out for him, and he just wasn't doing it. And then I had some other business partners that weren't doing what they were supposed to do either, and my focus always ended up on all of that and not here. So I had to put Post-it notes. And I put it on my steering wheel, I put it on my mirror, I put it by my telephone so that when they called, I would remember to keep the focus. And that's what I had to, I put it on my computer screen so that when I was sending emails, that I would keep the focus on me. And that seemed to help. This is something that, well, I think it was that guy that I haven't seen in years now, but that guy who told me that the Post-it note thing might be a good idea, because I seem to forget. So that's one of the tools that I learned here, is sometimes if I can't remember, I have to just post it everywhere, whatever it takes to remind myself. And I think that's why I keep coming back also, because all of you remind me of what it is that I'm supposed to be doing and focusing on, and that's me and my recovery. So what I feel in my recovery today is that I have a road in front of me, and it's wide open. God's down there somewhere, and He's just saying, this way, and I've taken, you know, the right, and I've taken the left road here, this way, that way, and now I'm just trying to stay focused on going straight forward. And He's calling me forward, so I'm going forward, and I don't know what's there, and I have to know, I want to know what's there, because I don't like change, and I don't like surprises, and I just want to know what it is I'm going to do. What do you expect from me? What am I supposed to do? And I don't know yet. I get little hints here and there from day to day. I'm doing things for myself, like I've taken up a hobby. I'm doing mosaic, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And I feel kind of like this is part of my recovery today, is that I take a piece of tile that's whole, I smash it up, and I put it back together in a different shape and form. And that's kind of what's happening with my life, is that I had this Bridget, and I'm kind of splitting up now in my family is splitting up in different areas. My life is changing all over the place, but I'm taking the pieces, the components that work, and the ones that I like, and putting them together into a new life. So that's what I think about sometimes when I'm doing my mosaics. Sometimes I'm doing them with just random. My very first one was very random. But what I noticed, or what somebody else noticed for me when it was complete, is that it was random, but there was still a north, south, east, and west. So I still have my direction, even though everything is changing. And I didn't even see that. I didn't know I was doing it. I just did it. It was a little design, and then somebody else read that into it and pointed it out to me. So this is part of my recovery. That's one part of my recovery. A big part of my recovery is I'm an Alateen sponsor, but I'm without a home. I'm meeting right now. Those of you, okay, you got my hint. I was an Alateen sponsor for about 6 years or 7 years, something like that, and that's something that I really enjoyed. It gave me a chance to get to know some of the kids, and then also to hear their stories, because my kids went through a lot of similar things that they did. And I love that we can be there for them. I can't fix them, but I can be there and let them know they're loved, just like we do for each other in program.
To obtain additional copies, receive a free catalog of AA and Al-Anon talks, or to find out about our tape and CD of the Month Club, call Encore Audio Archives at 1-800-878-1308, or visit our website at www.12steptapes.com.
So while I was here in Oxnard, my life was very, very busy. There were little signals along the way to me that things were not just right within our family, and that I couldn't put my finger on it, but once in a while I think, he's acting really strange. Maybe the drinking is too much. And I'd get so busy that I would forget about that. It would go away until the next time. And that happened, quite a bit. I'd get uncomfortable, but then I'd get busy and forget all about it. So his disease progressed, and so did mine. And we lived on one of the last houses that we lived in before we moved to Camarillo was a ranch here in Oxnard, and it was a really big place, and I was having trouble with that because I like to keep things under control, and when it's big, there's a lot to control, and I couldn't seem to do that. And my husband is kind of a fun guy for the kids, and he started giving them little presents when they did well in school. Started out with 3 baby chicks. And I said, wait. I know who's going to have to take care of those. Now, that's enough, no more. And how do we know one isn't a rooster? Because then it's going to start multiplying. Well, I got this, don't worry about it. I got you the book. So that's what he would do. So I got the book on chickens. And so we started out with 3 baby chicks, but that blossomed into about 30. Then somebody had some ducks, and he called up and said, "Hey, Bridge, my friend has a couple of ducks. You want these ducks?" And I thought, oh, okay, I'll take a couple of ducks. Well, I hadn't worked with ducks before either, but I suppose they're the same as chickens, so we'll let them all lived together, and then after that, then it was a, can you open the gate? I could hear this screaming over the phone, can you open the gate? I got a pig. And they were driving a pig home, so then it was a pig, and then it was some goats. Oh, my cousin wants to leave his donkeys here for 30 days, because I said, how long? Because I don't do equine, I don't know anything about that. And guess what? He got me the book. So I had the donkeys and the 4 kids and a full-time job, and the 4 kids were going to 4 different schools, you know, 1 in Ojai and 1 in Camarillo and 2 in Oxnard. So I was spread thin. And then Santa brought a pony. And Christmas morning, I looked out in the back and I said, wait a minute, okay, there were 2 donkeys, but there's another big guy out there. And he said, oh yeah, it's the pony, I got the pony. Don't worry about it, I got a saddle. So I got the book on that too. And so I just kind of took it on. All right, one more thing. Things were crazy, and I could get my girls to help me with the animals, but I couldn't get the boys to help me. The girls would help me with them, but that was an awful lot for one person. And I'm not I'm not a farm girl, but I became one real quick. But I had all of those animals and the responsibility of those. And then, you know, things would just come up and he'd say, here, he'd hand me a project, whether it was business or the animals or, you know, something. Don't you want to be team mom? And I said, let's see, I got all these animals, got 4 kids, 4 different schools I'm working. I don't think I want to be team mom for baseball or anything, because I was full. My plate was completely full. And I think that is one way that I was kept busy so that I wouldn't see what was going on. And I sensed something was going on, but when you got all that other stuff to pay attention to, I just didn't see, you know, I didn't see the progression of his disease or mine, because I just kept accepting everything that came my way. And I didn't know that I had the right to say, no, I'm done. I don't want to, I can't take on any more. So we, at one point, I got this bright idea that, well, the girls were getting older and they were leaving, getting ready to leave, and the boys weren't helping me with the animals. So I said, okay, let's get rid of them. And lo and behold, he had a friend who had a petting zoo, and we stocked the whole thing for him. I had all of those animals, and they were ready to go. I guess I could have done that too, but that's just one more thing. That's my bright idea from today. Ooh. Kind of scary. All of these things that I did, I thought I had to do. I didn't have any boundaries. I kind of envisioned, I did have boundaries at one time. I don't know what happened to them. I kind of envisioned this, you know, these little contractors' barricades here and here and here and here. And he would come up and say, I'm just going to put this away for you, okay? It'll be over here in the closet or something. And he would take one boundary and put it over there. And I just accepted that. And then another one and another one and another one. And then there was nothing in front of me. No boundaries. I had no boundaries. I just took on whatever they wanted. And I wound up getting worn out from all of that. So that's my disease, is that, you know, I thought I had to do it. I was being a good wife. I was being a good mom. I was being a good whatever, business partner, and handling all of that stuff. And today I know I don't have to handle all of that stuff, because when I was busy with all of that, I wasn't really living, I was just doing. And I was a human doing, that's for sure, not a human being. But I learned through you guys, and it was painful at times for me, but I think it was really painful for him when I started getting my boundaries and exercising those. And I guess that's what that's one of the big things that saved me, was learning that I could have boundaries and it was okay to have boundaries. I moved to Camarillo. In 2003. In our home, the drinking got so bad that I didn't really know what was going to happen, and so I had to start making decisions for the group, which is our second tradition, and I had to start making the best decisions for the group, and that was myself and the kids, because the drinking had gotten out of control, and I had spent so much of my energy and my focus on fixing that and helping that and sort of guiding him back to sobriety. I thought that's what I thought I was doing, but his disease was pretty strong, and I spent so much time doing that there wasn't time for me to think about me. When I got into program and I started thinking about me and taking the steps to heal myself and to figure out what I was doing and what was actually going on, things started to change for me. I bought a house by myself in Camarillo. That's how it started out, and moved my kids there, and I was safe. And that's what I needed to do at that time. I was in the process of divorce at that point, and my motive for that was merely to save my kids and myself. And I didn't know what was going to happen, and I didn't want to lose everything that we had worked hard for. So I thought, well, okay, this is what I have to do for me now. And filed for divorce and moved over there by myself, and we were safe, and it was peaceful, and the craziness had stopped because he was not in the house. At some point, he decided to get help on his own. It wasn't because of me, and he wound up in AA. He wound up in an outside program and then in AA. Got sober, and actually, after about 6 months, came back to the house, and we were trying to work things out. Now, early in his program, I'm sure for me too, it was very uncomfortable. He was uncomfortable, and I was uncomfortable. And I thought that once the drinking stopped, even though you guys told me that this was going to happen, I still somehow believed that once the drinking stopped, that everything would change. Not overnight. I was going to give it a couple weeks. But I thought it would be quite different, and it really wasn't. And I thought, okay, he's actually better maybe if he takes the edge off. So I was one of those who was ready to give him a drink to calm him down, but I didn't. And I remember I called my sponsor and I said, this is the first time ever I've had 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the marriage, emotionally, because I had filed for divorce before, but I really didn't want to do it. But this was the first time that I really felt like, ugh, I need to get out, because this is not good. I'm uncomfortable. He's uncomfortable. And I think what she said to me was something like, okay, well, why don't you start working your steps, or finish working your steps, and see where you are after that. And I thought, okay, well, that's like a goal, so I can do that. I can start working on that and see where you are after that. And so I started working the steps, and we worked through I don't think I'm quite done with you, but worked my 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and I started to feel better. And then things sort of shifted and things sort of changed, and he was doing program and I was doing program, and we did not cross over at all. I had lots of ideas for him. I think he may have had some ideas for me, but I had lots of ideas for his sobriety, but you know, I didn't give them to him. I kept them to myself because you guys taught me to do that. And he did his program the way he did it. I really don't know what he did because I stayed out of it, but I kept on my path. And after I decided, okay, my youngest was going to make it through high school, so I wanted to hang in there, and I thought, let's at least make it through high school. If we can do that, that's another goal, then maybe we can stay together. So he made it through high school. Then the next goal was, okay, let's see if he can make it through college, and see if we can still work on things together. Well, somewhere along the way, he quit working, and I was still working. But I think for me, I was working for me. I was hoping that things would work out, but I was working for me. And that's, you know, that old friend of mine that's no longer, I no longer see in program, who said, keep the focus, taught me a good lesson, because that's what I've had to do with program. The last few years that he was living in the house with us, he wasn't doing program, and he admitted that, and I think some things started happening laterally, the addictions, and I just was hoping that at some point, and praying that he would figure it out, and I guess he's figured it out. I am now in the process of divorce for the 2nd time, and this time I'm okay with it, because this time it is for me. It's not for me and the kids. It's for me. I've decided that that I don't have to live with the disease anymore. There are a lot of things I can live with. I can have a lot of compassion and love for the alcoholic, but there are some behaviors that I can't live with, and I know that, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I'm in the process of divorce for the 2nd time. I really kind of don't want to do it, but at the same time, God's down there, and He's just saying, keep coming. You're doing the right thing. Keep coming. I've had a lot in the last year. I've had a lot of visits from God. I think He was there all along, but I couldn't hear Him. I think I can hear Him now because you guys have taught me to listen, what to listen for. And I'm slowing down. I'm not doing the chickens and the ducks and the pigs and the geese and the goats and the donkeys and the pony. I'm not doing that stuff anymore. So things are quieter now in my life, and I can hear, and I can hear clearly. God comes, this is my good ear, this is my not so good ear, and He comes on this side. Why, I don't know. He comes on this side, and He tells me whatever it is I need to know. And He said, Bridget, you don't have to do this anymore. And I thought, oh, okay. Well, somebody had to say it to me. Otherwise, I wasn't going to figure it out. And He did. It's loud and clear. So I get to make my decisions based on the information that I get from God. And I learned that from you guys. I learned to bring Him into my life and to bring Him into my decisions. And I'm glad. I'm not happy that I'm having to divorce, but I am relieved, I guess, is the word. And I just know it's going to be okay. And I've tried to, now all my kids are grown, so everybody's out of the house. Everybody. All animals. I have no dogs right now, nothing, not even a guinea pig. And I'm kind of keeping it that way because right now I want a little flexibility. And I like animals. I'll probably have a dog or a cat or something at some point. But for right now, I'm good with nothing. And my kids keep saying, "Aren't you lonely? Don't you want a dog?" And I said, well, if I have a dog, I can't get up and go when I want to. And, I had a lot of that over the years with all my kids and the animals, and then the last, 3 dogs that we had. And I'm just not doing that anymore, because now there's a few things that I've wanted to do, and I was afraid to do them because I thought, oh, that's pretty selfish. I've been wanting to travel, and so I'm making myself do that. And it started out making myself do it. Now I'm really wanting to do it, and I like that. I've been able to do a few things. That's how I learned my mosaic. I went on a trip, and that's what they were teaching there. And I went on another one where they were teaching cooking. I like to do that, but I didn't know how to cook this particular food, and lo and behold, now I can do it. I'm learning to do the things that I wanted to do, but I didn't know what I wanted to do before. If you would ask me, I'd say, I don't know. What do you want? I don't know what movie I want to see. What do you want? And, I don't know where I want to eat. What do you want? And now I kind of have opinions about that. That's good. And it can be bad. Or it can be difficult, I should say, not bad. But I think, being in this program has taught me to, it has helped me to learn about myself. First of all, I've had to grow up a lot. And at 57, that's, it's kind of late, but better late than never, I guess. And it's taught me to have compassion for the alcoholic or anybody in my life that's not doing what I want them to do. And there's a few of those. I go home and there it is to greet me right in the face there too. I was just in Hawaii to visit my mother, who turned 90, and we had a party for her. And some of you know this. I have my 4 brothers. Most of them get along, but there's 2 that don't. And when I organized the party, I let everybody know, and I got texts from 2 brothers right away. If so-and-so comes, I'm bringing a gun and a restraining order. And then the other one says, if he comes, he said, I can't guarantee how I'm going to behave. And I thought, oh, great. This is a 90-year-old birthday party, and that's how we're behaving. I thought those were going to be party favors, the guns and the restraining orders. But we didn't have to go there. One brother didn't show, and he lived the closest to where the party was. But that's okay. I was okay with it. I was upset at first, but once I got there and I thought, you know what, the focus has to be on the right thing. It has to be on Mom. It has to be on those who want to come and be there. All the grandkids were there. It was wonderful. It's the best trip that I've had to Hawaii in a long, long time. And I was very at peace there. I had to spend the night alone in a beach house on the North Shore. 2 nights. It was full the other nights, but the last 2 nights, everybody kept saying, "Are you sure you want to stay alone?" Mm-hmm. "Are you sure you're safe out there?" Mm-hmm. "I'm good." And it was wonderful. I kind of thought, I made the decision to stay alone, and then I thought, oh, I wonder if I'm going to get all wigged out in the middle of the night. And I just didn't. There was a gecko in the bathtub, but that's the only company I had. And I was good with that. I was good with that. Now, my kids were there, and I'll be honest, I didn't count anything, but I saw a little more than I wanted to see. They're young. They may get past that. Some of them may not. But I noticed it. I didn't say anything. And I know what the possibilities are either way. But I can keep that to myself. And I still was okay. I did not let it ruin my whole trip. Not even one day. And I'm glad. You guys have taught me to look forward instead of looking back. In Hawaii, they have a word for looking forward is imua. And I remembered that from, I don't know, some school play or something where I had to sing a song about imua. And so that's kind of my part of my meditation also, is the moving forward. And I bring that word into it because it has a good, strong memory, imua, move forward. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing that in program. I'm keeping connected in program because I know that there's a lot of stuff that I haven't learned yet that I'm still working on. And I see a lot in all of you, little pieces here and there that I want. You know, I see that happiness and joy. I actually found even in the last 8 years, I guess, I have found a peace and a joy in living, even though there was that disease was still in my house, the dark cloud, because I would come and visit with you. You share your stories. I know you. I feel a connection from here, from my heart, and it's not just from my head. And I love that. And I love that all of you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. I love the fact that that Al-Anons do not hate the person. They don't hate the guy that's affecting me. I don't hate the guy that's affecting you. We all love the alcoholic, and we just want I want to be able to show love and compassion no matter what. And I know I can do that if I stay here. If I don't stay here, I think my illness can kick back into its strength, and I don't want to do that. So I can't look at you. You're a trigger today. It's okay. It's okay. I know that the people that I stay close to in Al-Anon have taught me a lot, and they've taught me a lot about loving and forgiving. I'm still working on that one. And letting go, and finding that compassion when I just don't think I can find it. And I think I've learned an awful lot from all of you guys. My heart fills up when I come to meetings. I continue to come. My kids ask me why I still come, he's not there anymore. He's not drinking anymore. That was the first one. And then now he's not living there, so why are you still going? Is that a cult? And and I'm okay with that too, if they want to call it the cult, whatever. We have to have a gang sign or something, We have to come up with that. I don't know, I don't know, Al-Anon, I don't know. I know. I'm hoping that, my hope is that I've been able to pass on some of the recovery to my kids. I think I have. There are times where I can definitely spot the disease my disease in them. And then there are moments where I see that recovery. And for me, what I'm doing today is all about my recovery. I am an example to them, whether they choose to see it the way it's intended or not. That's okay. I do have one that calls Al-Anon the cult, and then the rest of them aren't so sure about it. But that's okay. I just keep coming anyway. And one day, they may end up in here along with me. So I want to keep a seat open for them too, because it's done a lot for me. It's helped me to grow so much. I allowed the disease of alcoholism to take over my life, and I didn't even know it. It sideswiped me, and I always thought I was trying to be the good, loving wife and just go along with everything. And I've learned different in here. I've learned that it's my life, and especially now that my kids are grown and everybody, including dogs, everybody's out of the house. It is my life, and I get to choose what I want in it, and Al-Anon is something that I want. And so I'm going to keep coming back. I think, I may be early, but yeah. Oh. Yeah, there was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and then just before I began program, we were in business with a relative, and I noticed at that point that my husband's drinking was getting out of control. At least to me, it was, and I thought. It seemed to me that the source of the drinking was our business partner, because every night my husband would come home and complain about the business partner. Okay, he's doing this, he's not doing this, he's doing this. And I'm Mrs. Logical, and I said, well, I think he's pretty reasonable. Why don't you just tell him what it is that you want or what you need from him, and he'll do it. Oh, no, that won't work. And then the next night he'd come home and he'd say the same thing over and over again, and I'd say, well, how about if you write it down? Maybe if you put it on paper. Some people are visual, So I was coming up with all these solutions, I thought, and he didn't want any of them. He wasn't asking me. He was just wanted to complain, I guess. And I wasn't letting him do that because I was coming up with, hey, this is a possible solution here. And what ended up happening was, I thought, okay, if they can't figure out business together, if we just get rid of that guy, the drinking will stop. And that's really what I thought. And so we got rid of that guy, and the drinking didn't stop. That was a big lesson to me, that this is definitely a disease. And it's not something that I can fix or control. I tried to do that for many, many years, and it didn't work. And that was the beginning of it, was getting rid of the business partner, because that was going to get him sober. Oh, I think that's kind of interesting. I never thought about that one before. But today, I'm allowing others their life, including my kids, and I'm not meddling. I'm not in the middle of their stuff. I'm there when they need me or want to run something by me, but it's kind of scary, you know, to be like just one person all alone. But I have you guys. I had the big family for a while. Now it's just me, and I think God is kind of whittling away people and things so that I have to focus on what I have to focus on. And that's what it's about. And I can accept that. And so today, I'm just going to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for loving me. And thank you for the tears. And the prayer before we started. So I love you all. I thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of my recovery.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think. Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I don't not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. Shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.